If I told you that in just 3 days, you could fundamentally shift how you feel, think, and perform, would you try it? Most people won't. Not because they don't want change, but because they underestimate how fast the brain and body can adapt. Here's what we know. The nervous system is incredibly plastic, meaning it changes in response to experience, and it does so rapidly. 3 days, 72 hours is enough time to create a noticeable shift in your biology. Whether it's optimizing your sleep, increasing focus, or improving mood, a 3-day experiment is all it takes to make you realize what you've been missing. Let's take a simple example. Morning sunlight exposure. Science shows that getting just 5 to 10 minutes of natural light in your eyes early in the day increases dopamine, enhances mood, and anchors your sleep-wake cycle. Try it for 3 days. You'll wake up more energized, sleep better, and feel more in control of your emotions. The human brain and body possess an extraordinary capacity for adaptation. While many people assume that meaningful physiological and psychological change takes weeks or months, research shows that significant shifts can occur in as little as 72 hours. This is due to the inherent plasticity of the nervous system, the brain's ability to reorganize itself in response to new stimuli. The way neurons fire and wire together can change rapidly, leading to noticeable improvements in mood, focus, energy levels, and overall well-being in a very short period of time. One of the most critical mechanisms behind this rapid adaptation is neurochemistry. When we introduce a new stimulus, whether it's exposure to natural light, changes in diet, cold immersion, or even focused breath work, the brain responds immediately by adjusting neurotransmitter levels. Dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, which govern motivation, mood, and attention, are highly responsive to environmental shifts. When a positive change is introduced and maintained for even a short period, the brain begins to reinforce that behavior through reward pathways, making it easier to sustain. The autonomic nervous system, which controls functions like heart rate, digestion, and stress response, is also incredibly responsive to change. For example, when someone starts incorporating deliberate cold exposure, the body quickly adapts by improving circulation, enhancing stress tolerance, and increasing norepinephrine production. This occurs within days, not weeks. Similarly, adopting a regular breathwork practice can shift the body into a parasympathetic state, reducing stress hormones like cortisol and increasing vagal tone, which improves overall resilience. Metabolic systems also adapt quickly. When an individual eliminates processed sugars and refined carbohydrates, insulin sensitivity begins to improve within hours. By the 3rd day, blood sugar regulation stabilizes, reducing energy crashes and brain fog. Gut microbiota, which play a crucial role in digestion, immune function, and even mental health, start to shift in response to dietary changes almost immediately. Beneficial bacteria multiply, leading to enhanced digestion and reduced inflammation. These effects become noticeable within 72 hours, creating a tangible sense of well-being that reinforces adherence to healthier eating habits. Sleep cycles are another area where rapid adaptation occurs. Circadian rhythms, which govern wakefulness and sleep quality, are directly influenced by light exposure, meal timing, and temperature fluctuation. When someone begins getting natural sunlight early in the day, melatonin production at night becomes more synchronized, leading to deeper and more restorative sleep. Likewise, avoiding artificial light at night and reducing stimulants like caffeine can yield substantial improvements in sleep quality within just a few days. These changes have downstream effects on cognitive function, emotional regulation, and physical recovery. On a behavioral level, the concept of keystone habits plays a crucial role in rapid adaptation. When a person successfully implements a small but impactful change, it triggers a cascade of positive behaviors. For example, committing to a 3-day experiment of morning sunlight exposure may lead to better sleep, which in turn improves energy levels, making it easier to engage in exercise or mindful practices. These interconnected adaptations reinforce one another, accelerating the process of change. Morning sunlight exposure plays a crucial role in regulating the body's internal clock, or circadian rhythm, which governs sleep, energy levels, mood, and overall biological function. The retina contains specialized cells called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, iPRGCs, that detect natural light and send signals directly to the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, in the hypothalamus, which acts as the body's master clock. When these cells are stimulated by sunlight, a cascade of neurochemical responses is triggered, helping synchronize the body's biological rhythms to the natural day-night cycle. One of the most immediate effects of morning sunlight exposure is the suppression of melatonin, the hormone responsible for sleep. When the eyes detect sunlight within the first hour of waking, Melatonin production is halted, signaling to the body that it is daytime. This not only enhances wakefulness, but also ensures that melatonin is released at the correct time later in the evening, promoting deeper and more restorative sleep. The consistency of this cycle improves sleep quality, reduces nighttime awakenings, and helps combat conditions like insomnia and jet lag. Sunlight exposure also plays a direct role in dopamine production. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter associated with motivation, focus, and mood regulation. Research shows that exposure to bright light, especially in the morning, increases dopamine levels in the brain, which can improve concentration and reduce the risk of depressive symptoms. This is particularly important in the context of seasonal affective disorder, SAD, where lack of sunlight during winter months is linked to low dopamine and serotonin activity, leading to decreased mood and energy levels. Even in individuals without SAD, regular morning sunlight exposure has been shown to enhance overall mood stability and cognitive function. Another critical neurochemical affected by morning sunlight is cortisol. Often thought of as a stress hormone, cortisol follows a natural rhythm known as the cortisol awakening response, CAR. In a well-regulated system, cortisol levels rise naturally in the morning, helping the body feel alert and ready for the day. Exposure to natural light amplifies this response, ensuring a steady and healthy rise in energy without the need for artificial stimulants like caffeine. When cortisol is properly regulated in the morning, it prevents excessive spikes later in the day, which are often associated with anxiety and stress disorders. Beyond its effects on neurotransmitters, morning sunlight exposure also influences metabolism and immune function. Sunlight triggers the production of vitamin D, a crucial hormone involved in bone health, immune defense, and inflammation control. Deficiencies in vitamin D have been linked to an increased risk of chronic illnesses, including autoimmune disorders, cardiovascular disease, and depression. By getting natural light exposure in the morning, the body is better equipped to maintain optimal vitamin D levels, reducing overall systemic inflammation and improving resilience against infections. From an evolutionary perspective, human biology is designed to wake with the rising sun. For most of human history, the transition from darkness to light was the primary cue for activity and alertness. However, modern lifestyles have disrupted this natural cycle, with artificial lighting, indoor work environments, and screen exposure at night leading to circadian misalignment. By reintroducing morning sunlight exposure, the body can restore its natural rhythms, leading to improved sleep, mood, focus, and overall vitality. Nutrition has a profound impact on mental clarity, cognitive function, and overall brain health. The brain, despite making up only about 2% of total body weight, consumes roughly 20% of the body's energy, making it highly sensitive to the quality and stability of fuel it receives. Processed foods, refined sugars, and artificial additives contribute to fluctuating blood sugar levels, inflammation, and neurotransmitter imbalances, all of which impair focus, decision-making, and mental performance. In contrast, whole nutrient-dense foods provide stable energy, essential micronutrients, and critical building blocks for optimal brain function. One of the biggest factors affecting mental clarity is blood sugar regulation. When a person consumes processed carbohydrates or sugary foods, blood glucose levels spike rapidly, leading to a short-term surge in energy followed by a sharp crash. This crash results in fatigue, brain fog, and reduced cognitive efficiency. Over time, repeated spikes and crashes lead to insulin resistance, where the body becomes less effective at processing glucose, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes and cognitive decline. Shifting to whole food sources like fiber-rich vegetables, healthy fats, and protein stabilizes blood sugar, providing consistent energy to the brain and preventing the roller coaster of highs and lows that negatively affect focus and productivity. Another critical component of mental clarity is inflammation. Chronic inflammation in the brain, often triggered by ultra-processed foods, excessive sugar intake, and unhealthy fats, disrupts neural communication and impairs cognitive function. Studies have linked systemic inflammation to conditions such as brain fog, depression, and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Anti-inflammatory foods such as omega-3 rich fish, leafy greens, nuts, and turmeric help combat this by reducing oxidative stress and supporting cellular repair. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA, are essential for maintaining the structure of brain cells and improving synaptic plasticity, which enhances learning and memory. The gut-brain connection is another powerful mechanism through which diet influences cognition. The gut microbiome, a complex ecosystem of bacteria, plays a crucial role in neurotransmitter production. immune function, and overall brain health. Certain beneficial gut bacteria help synthesize neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine, which regulate mood, motivation, and cognitive function. Diets high in processed foods, artificial sweeteners, and low-quality fats disrupt the balance of gut bacteria, leading to increased inflammation and impaired brain function. Consuming probiotic and prebiotic-rich foods like fermented vegetables, yogurt, and fiber-rich plants fosters a healthy gut microbiome, improving both digestion and mental clarity. Micronutrient deficiencies also play a significant role in cognitive performance. Essential vitamins and minerals like B vitamins, magnesium, and choline support neurotransmitter function, energy metabolism, and nerve signaling. B vitamins, particularly B6, B9, folate, and B12, are essential for the production of dopamine and serotonin, directly influencing mood and focus. Magnesium is crucial for neural transmission and has been shown to reduce stress and anxiety while improving learning and memory. Choline, found in eggs and certain fish, is a precursor to acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter critical for attention and mental processing speed. The cumulative effect of these dietary factors determines whether the brain operates in a state of clarity and efficiency or struggles with sluggishness and dysfunction. By prioritizing nutrient-dense foods, stabilizing blood sugar, and reducing inflammation, mental performance can improve significantly, leading to sharper focus, better memory, and sustained energy throughout the day. Cold exposure has a profound impact on dopamine levels, resilience, and overall mental and physical performance. When the body is exposed to cold temperatures, a series of physiological and neurological responses are triggered, leading to significant increases in dopamine, norepinephrine, and other stress-adaptive hormones. These changes not only enhance mood and motivation, but also build mental toughness, improve circulation, and strengthen the body's ability to handle stress. One of the most striking effects of deliberate cold exposure is the rapid and sustained increase in dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter associated with motivation, reward, and focus. Unlike the short-lived spikes in dopamine caused by activities such as social media scrolling or processed food consumption, cold exposure induces a natural, long-lasting increase. Studies show that even brief exposure to cold water can elevate dopamine levels by up to 250%, with effects lasting for several hours. This sustained increase enhances mood, drive, and overall cognitive performance without the subsequent crash that often accompanies artificial dopamine spikes. Cold exposure also activates norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter and hormone that plays a key role in focus, alertness, and energy regulation. When the body is exposed to cold, norepinephrine levels surge, leading to improved attention and reduced feelings of stress or fatigue. This is part of the body's natural adaptation to environmental challenges. Increasing wakefulness and mental clarity, elevated norepinephrine levels also contribute to the reduction of inflammation, supporting both brain and body recovery. Beyond neurochemistry, cold exposure enhances resilience by conditioning the nervous system to handle stress more effectively. When an individual willingly subjects themselves to cold water or cold air, they activate the body's adaptive stress response. This process strengthens neural circuits involved in emotional regulation, making it easier to remain calm and focused under pressure. Over time, this practice builds mental fortitude, allowing individuals to tolerate discomfort and adversity with greater ease. This is why cold exposure is often used as a training tool for athletes, military personnel, and high-performance professionals seeking to enhance their ability to handle difficult situations. Cold-induced vasoconstriction and vasodilation play a crucial role in cardiovascular health and circulation. When the body is exposed to cold, blood vessels constrict to preserve core temperature, followed by rapid vasodilation once warmth is restored. This process improves vascular function, enhances oxygen delivery, and reduces inflammation. Improved circulation leads to better muscle recovery, reduced soreness, and overall improved metabolic efficiency. Cold exposure has also been shown to increase brown fat activation, a type of metabolically active fat that helps regulate body temperature and improve insulin sensitivity. Cold therapy has additional benefits for mental health by reducing cortisol levels and enhancing stress tolerance. While acute exposure to cold initially increases cortisol, repeated exposure leads to adaptations that help regulate stress more effectively over time. This is particularly beneficial for individuals dealing with anxiety, as cold exposure trains the nervous system to remain balanced in response to external stressors. The physiological and psychological benefits of cold exposure compound with consistent practice. Whether through cold showers, ice baths, or outdoor exposure, this practice serves as a powerful tool for enhancing dopamine levels, building resilience, and optimizing overall performance. Small changes, when implemented consistently, create lasting shifts in both behavior and physiology. The brain and body are highly adaptable, responding quickly to repeated stimuli through a process called neuroplasticity. Even minor adjustments in daily routines, such as exposure to natural light, dietary modifications, breath work, or movement, can initiate a cascade of biological and psychological improvements that compound over time. The key is understanding that seemingly small actions serve as triggers for larger interconnected systems that regulate mood, energy, focus, and resilience. One of the reasons small changes are so powerful is the role of habit formation. The brain operates on efficiency, automating behaviors whenever possible to conserve energy. When a new habit is introduced, it initially requires conscious effort and willpower, but as it is repeated, neural pathways strengthen, making the behavior automatic. This shift from conscious effort to subconscious habit formation allows small, intentional changes to become effortless over time. For example, setting a simple goal like getting morning sunlight daily for 3 days can lead to better sleep and improved mood, reinforcing the desire to continue the practice. Physiological systems adapt quickly to new inputs, allowing even brief interventions to create meaningful shifts in biology. For instance, reducing processed sugar intake for just a few days improves insulin sensitivity, leading to more stable blood sugar levels, better energy, and reduced cravings. Engaging in controlled breath work for a few minutes daily activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing stress and improving heart rate variability. These adaptations begin almost immediately, proving that small, consistent actions can generate noticeable benefits in a short time. Another reason small changes create lasting shifts is their impact on identity and self-perception. When an individual successfully implements even a minor change, it reinforces the belief that change is possible. This process is often referred to as identity-based habit formation. Instead of focusing on an outcome, such as losing weight or reducing anxiety, the emphasis shifts to becoming the type of person who engages in behaviors that naturally lead to those results. For example, someone who commits to cold exposure for 3 days begins to see themselves as a person who can handle discomfort and build resilience, making it more likely that they will continue the practice. Momentum plays a crucial role in sustaining long-term change. When a small change produces a noticeable benefit, motivation increases, leading to further positive actions. This is known as the compounding effect of habit formation. A person who experiences increased energy from improving their sleep may be more inclined to exercise, leading to further mood and cognitive benefits. Each small shift creates a positive feedback loop, reinforcing the behavior and making additional improvements feel natural rather than forced. Environmental and contextual factors also influence the success of small changes, structuring the environment to support positive behaviors, such as placing a water bottle in a visible location to encourage hydration or setting an alarm to remind oneself to step outside for sunlight, makes it easier to maintain consistency. The human brain thrives on cues and routines, meaning that small adjustments to the surrounding environment can significantly enhance adherence to new habits. Over time, these micro adjustments become part of a larger system of behaviors that drive long-term well-being. Experience is the most powerful driver of behavioral change. While knowledge and motivation can inspire action, true commitment to new habits comes from direct, tangible results. When individuals personally feel the benefits of a change, whether it's improved energy, better focus, enhanced mood, or deeper sleep, it creates a level of reinforcement that no external advice or theory can match. This is why experiential learning is far more effective than abstract knowledge in creating lasting transformation. The brain responds strongly to real-world feedback, shaping behaviors based on outcomes rather than intentions. Neurotransmitters play a crucial role in this process. Dopamine, the chemical associated with motivation and reinforcement, is released in response to positive experiences. When a new habit produces a beneficial result, dopamine reinforces the behavior, making it more likely to be repeated. This explains why people who try cold exposure, morning sunlight, or even short periods of dietary changes often feel compelled to continue, because their nervous system is reinforcing the habit through neurochemical rewards. The stronger and more immediate the experience, the greater the likelihood of long-term adherence. The concept of proof over persuasion is critical in habit formation. Many individuals struggle to adopt healthier behaviors because they rely on willpower alone, without direct evidence that the effort is worth it. However, when a person experiences firsthand how even a small shift, such as eliminating processed sugar for 3 days, leads to clearer thinking and stable energy levels, the motivation to continue becomes intrinsic rather than forced. This experiential reinforcement bypasses the need for external motivation, making the behavior feel natural rather than a chore. Behavioral psychology also supports the idea that immediate feedback strengthens habit formation. The brain is wired to prioritize actions that provide noticeable benefits in the short term. This is why many people find it difficult to stick with habits that promise long-term rewards but offer no immediate payoff. However, when a practice delivers a tangible benefit within a few days, such as improved mood from morning sunlight or increased alertness from cold exposure, it creates a compelling reason to continue. This immediate feedback loop builds momentum, increasing the likelihood of habit retention. Sensory and emotional experiences also deepen the impact of behavioral changes. The body remembers how it feels during different states, whether it's the clarity after breath work, the calmness after proper sleep, or the rush of dopamine after a cold shower. These sensory imprints make it easier to recall and replicate positive behaviors. The stronger the emotional and physical response to an experience, the more deeply it is embedded in memory, reinforcing long-term adherence. Another key aspect of experiential learning is contrast. People often don't realize how much their baseline well-being has been compromised until they experience an improved state. Someone who has lived with chronic fatigue may not recognize how suboptimal their energy levels are until they make a simple shift, like improving hydration or sleep, and suddenly feel significantly better. This contrast creates an aha moment, making it clear that previous habits were limiting performance and well-being. Once this realization occurs, the desire to return to the previous state diminishes, reinforcing long-term change.